Well, this is the first time ever we're doing Wise Wind Down Part 2 on the same night because the people asked for it and we want to give the people what they want. So welcome back. This is Wise Wind Down Part 2 with Rashan Alis, our special guest. Grab your glasses again. We toasted it up, but guess what? We're going to toast it up again. So grab your glasses again and join us. I see you guys. Hey, TJ Rags and Renita. Hey, girl. Hey. Renita was our first guest, for those of y'all who don't know, and she was amazing. I so appreciate your support, sis. Like, you have no idea. Hey, Lexi. Thanks for coming back. We in here. Listen, y'all are showing up and showing out, okay? Listen, Rashan brought it, okay? She brought it. And there she goes. She's coming back in. Ah! Hey, Dream, OG boy, and Princess, I see you. Here we go. We coming back. We making history tonight. We making history. Wives wind down history.
She back.
Listen, we're making history. Never in the history of Wives Wind Down have we done this. The people want what they want.
I know. I love it. There was one, but somebody was like 5 minutes too long. I'm like, girl, you know you want more. Don't act like that.
I'm like, can I get my video uploaded? Because like you said, it might leave me. And
you already know.
Listen.
You don't want that content to be gone.
I don't know why they don't give you an option. Because like you have to have your like, you know, usually I like to have my caption type. Like I have to like do that all at the same time or else I'm going to lose it.
Yeah. Were you able to do that?
No, but what I can do is go back and edit my preview. So I can go in and edit
But you saved it though. You put it on IGTV
yes,
already?
It's on my IGTV.
Okay,
yeah,
good.
We're good.
That's all I mean.
This is history in the making. I appreciate y'all. I appreciate y'all for rocking with me. And Rashan, I appreciate you because you didn't have to say yes. You didn't have to come back on. Like,
it's all good. Look, let me tell you something. When I enjoy something, I'm going to keep doing it now. This is fun. Fun. I know you had a couple more questions, so I didn't want you to have to cut it short or whatever you want to get into. It's fine.
Because, you know, that was one of the things I told you in the email. Like, I like authenticity and genuine conversation. So the conversation went where it needed to go, when it needed to go there. And so for me, I didn't feel like anything was missing. I was like, I don't care if I don't get to all of my questions because God was always speaking through you. You were always speaking to the people. So I was not bothered in the least. But then when you mentioned it, I said, okay, now, Lord, now if you're going to send a blessing, I'm going to take it.
Go ahead and take it.
Which I usually have trouble with, but therapy has helped me. I love to give, but I have trouble receiving. So the Lord was like, okay, Shonda, I got it for you. Are you going to take it? Or are you going to be like, well, no,
it's okay. I know she's probably tired. All that.
So, okay, cool. Let's get in it. Okay, let me scroll back up to my notes. Let me get it together. Okay, let me get myself together. What type of I know what I wanted to ask you. The pettiest argument that you and Smitty have had. It's like a recurring theme each week. Because I want the ladies to know that, like, listen, sometimes you're gonna have petty arguments.
So today, like,
not today.
I mean, we have a very, very clean home. You know what I mean? We keep a very clean home. They know, like my whole family knows we're not going to leave. The kitchen is going to be spotless, like the downstairs area. My mom raised me like that. Like, anybody coming to your home, the communal area needs to look like it's spotless.
Yes.
And we haven't had we ain't had the cleaning people over since about a smooth January. You know what I mean? Something about these bathrooms that no one likes to clean.
Don't get me started.
I'm like, bruh, you know when you splatter. I'm gonna keep it real. No, you know when the thing went out there like that on the side. Why I got to be responsible for the splattation? Why do I have to be responsible for the splattation? So I'm cleaning the bathroom today. I was like, I don't think that I should be the only one cleaning the toilets. You know, when you look back.
Look back at it and not that look back.
You know it ain't right. Get your little gloves. We got all the disposable gloves since the COVID.
Yes.
Put them things on. Wipe that thing off.
Because do you think I like to? Do you think I like to clean toilets all my life? I don't like to do that.
I had to get into my daughter's bathroom. I'm like, guys, you don't want to be the nasty girl in college and everybody talk about, hey, you remember when Shawty was so nasty? You know, because you always talk about the nasty girl. You remember the nasty girl in college, don't you? You don't want to be that chick. Look at your toilet. Look at your tub.
Angela said the realness, and he's the only one with the splatter capabilities. Exactly.
Because women would be like, oh, that was a bit much. Woo-hoo. We make sure everything's fine. We make sure that nobody has to come behind us and be like, oh my God, it's splatter. So that's the petty thing that we deal with when I be like, come on, dog. You know. And then it's so funny because he cleaned up the kitchen, right? He was like, I'm about to go take a shower. And I'd already, you know how you black folks do. We put the comment down. We put all the bad stuff down and make sure everything break up. You know what I'm saying?
About 2 hours.
The bathroom. About 2 hours. I was like, man, the bathroom, you know, whatever. It's, you know, it's because I was making, we had worked out. And the girls are old enough now. They make their own breakfast or whatever. She back there. She wanted to get on so bad. But her hair ain't right. Come on here. Hold on, y'all. Y'all know I told y'all I wasn't the hair mama.
Oh.
Say hello. You did? Okay.
Her face still makes me laugh with that macaroni and cheese.
The macaroni and cheese, right? Right? This is Carter, everybody. Sorry,
hey,
guys.
pretty Carter. You look so pretty with your puff. I love it.
Say thank you. Well, she can't hear me because I have my. She can't hear you because I have my earbud, but she heard you. So yeah. Then he was like, I'm gonna come upstairs. I finished my break. I had a call with Tiana at 12. So I was like, let me go up here. But he had left. I'm thinking, okay, he gonna start the bathroom. I'm in there like I'm talking about making noise, pop, 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 scrubbing with the gloves on, scrubbing. And I'm like, babe, you can clean up your other area. And then I start complaining, like, you know, I don't like cleaning this toilet. He's like, well, I didn't. No, you didn't, Brian. No, you didn't do that. You don't like cleaning the toilets either. Just say, I don't like cleaning my boo-boo. Just say that. I'd rather you say that than
exactly
bring me some craziness. Just say that. I don't want to clean my boo-boo.
We have 3 bathrooms. Shonda only uses one of them, okay?
Right.
One. He just goes to all of them. And even though they're not pubes, I call them pubes, but it's usually hair from his beard. And I'm like, so I go into the bathrooms, there's pubes everywhere. I mean, I didn't see them. How can you not see them?
Yeah, you saw them. You don't want to see them. Because we done spoiled them. And because we pick it up. So, I mean, you know, there's some upsides and there's some downsides to marriage. And I hate that part of it.
Yeah. The cleaning, when you talked about earlier about recurring themes, recurring arguments, that is the Black White House. Cleaning, we just have to pray because we could go all the way in about cleaning.
Look, somebody said 𝗵𝗃𝗲𝘀. She said they don't ever see it. They see it. They just don't want to get it. You just did it, sir. Just take the little thing, wipe it off, and wash your hands. We got antibacterial. I got the antibacterial before COVID. We good.
Yeah. And that's what's so funny what I found with my husband, because now you would think he works for the CDC with all this COVID and stuff. Right. And I'm like, so he's always checking me. Did you wash your hands? Did you wash your hands? And I'm sitting there like, I've been washing my hands. Okay. I'm not new to this. But I just find it so funny that he's so committed to the CDC and the COVID. But I need you to be committed to the other germs throughout the house. I need your commitment to flow in other areas.
Right. And I won't complain. My husband is a very, very clean person, but it's something about them toilets that just don't resonate.
Mm-hmm. Facts.
Everything else, he's good. He'll clean up. He stays on the girls about making sure they clean up and everything else. But like,
he's definitely a girl dad.
Oh yeah, all the way. All the way.
Yes. Mm-hmm. What is something that you feel like you've had to unlearn about marriage, or like a myth that you always heard, and then once you got married, you was like, I don't think that's necessarily true?
So the only thing that I would say is that you learn from your parents, the good and the bad. My mom wore the pants in my parents' relationship, even to this day. And I didn't want to be that. I didn't want to be the person that was just in charge of everything. And that, that's my dad's personality, whatever. But I was like, yeah, no, that's not going to be me. So if I had to identify anything, it would be that there's a way to be submissive in the biblical sense, or, in the worldly sense, that doesn't make you less than. Because I never want to emasculate my husband ever, because I am a very strong woman and very independent woman. But I still want him to know that he leads our home, even though we make collective decisions. But I want him to know that he is the leader of our home. And I don't know if I don't want my man on Instagram. I'm still scared of her. But I just don't ever want my husband to feel like I felt like my dad felt at times. You know what I mean? And I don't want that for us. I don't want that for us. I honor him. I honor his word. I honor like how he leads our daughters. Like, they know real Black male love and leadership because of him. And I did too. Don't get me wrong. But we lead cohesively. We lead in a co-partnership. And like, I know my dad wanted to, I know they wanted to leave each other, but my dad don't know what nothing is. Your mama just took it. She hiding everything from me. I don't know where nothing is. Like, I don't want to be like that.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? So I've learned from them. You learn from your upbringing what you will take and what you won't take into your own. And while I am so glad that they gave me a great example, but you take what you want and you take what you don't want. And then the apple doesn't fall too far from the tree. I've had to check myself a couple of times, like, no, sis, no, we're not doing that. But I'm so good that I'm happy that I can recognize that now.
Yeah, that's so important. Somebody said, yes, that he is the man of the house. Very important. I too learned that. I had to learn to pick my battles. And feel free, if you all have questions, to drop them in there.
Yeah, that's fine.
Somebody said, I'm divorced, but I'm digging this real conversation. Absolutely. I can totally relate to that, Rashan, like being aware of that, because my grandparents were like that. My mom was never married, so I didn't see that. My mom was a beautiful, wonderful single parent. And my dad was never around, but like I saw it with my grandparents. And like you said, I mean, my granny, honestly, I've never, and it's going to sound so terrible, I love them to pieces, but I've never seen my granddaddy so living life. And he had cancer and everything. And but those last few years that he had cancer, he lived his life. But it was also because my granny was no longer there to like tell him what to do. Like, when she was alive, it was just so much. And I knew they loved each other, but it was just like, all the time. As soon as he walked through that door, it was like, here's your list of what to do. And he's like, I've been working on it. And it's just like, because I spent a lot of time. They lived down the street from me, so I saw it all the time.
Yeah, man.
To see him live like that, I thought the same thing. I was like, but like you said, sometimes you have to catch yourself. It's like, oh, I'm getting like,
I don't want to become that person. Right. Listen, I go over there and it's so difficult at times because, and this has come up in therapy, because I've always tried to fix them. So that has shown up in my life, that I always try to fix things. I always try to make everything better. And people who have been in my close proximity will tell you that she always wants to make everything better. But you got to understand where that comes from. It comes from me trying to make my parents better and I wanted to be their happy median, and I wanted to be the one that made them happy, because they weren't like big, loud, arguing people. They didn't get loud, but you just knew that there was some type of dissension or a point of contention somewhere. And I was always just trying to make them happy. So that showed up in my life and like how I dealt with things and how I just tried to compromise and try to be a people pleaser. All of those things showed up because I wanted to make them better. So that showed up in my life, and my therapist was like, let's go back. Why are you like this? While I'm an extremely nice person, I'm very, very open, I'm very, very nice. But why do you always try to fix everything? Why do you always? So it comes from me trying to fix my parents all the time. Like I just wanted out of everything, I just wanted them to be happy. And I told my dad the other day, they've been married for 53 years. My dad's 77, my mom's 74. I was like, I'm not going to come over there if it's not going to be good energy. And I know we know when our parents are getting to, now that I'm experiencing my friends losing their parents and all of that, we understand the inevitable. But I'm also not going to sacrifice my energy or my happiness to try to make them happy either. That's not my responsibility. Y'all have had 50 something years to get that right.
It's worked this long.
Yep.
I understand 1,000%.
It's very tough, and I love them dearly, and I pray for them, and I'm just like, I just want them at the very end to be able to say, man, I had a good life, but I'm just afraid that I don't know if they'll say that.
Yeah.
Like our old school parents, they just stayed for the kids. But then when we left, they don't even know how to coexist without each other. So then there's love there.
Exactly.
Like,
Exactly.
man, but at what cost?
Exactly.
I want Smitty to touch my booty and let's go get some 𝗪𝗃𝗃𝗀 ice cream at 75. That's what I want.
Thank you.
Let me tap her on the little booty. Let me tap her on the ass. See what she's talking about tonight.
That little juicy booty. That little peach.
We're not 70s. We may just kiss the night away. You know what I'm saying? But I want it to be where we have established that bond. And I think that we're definitely on the way to do that.
I love that. Someone said, I have a challenge balancing that. And thank you, Michi, for your comments. I've seen you've been lit in the comments. Yes. I have a challenge balancing that with letting go of control. Therapist said it's because I've been taking care of people since I was 7. Yep. Learning to live better and let go today in my now. I love that.
Because ain't nobody, listen, the thing about it is, like, if you are trying to do so much for everybody else, well, who taking care of you? And then you have to get into this, like, okay, I got to take care of myself. Like, and you don't want it to be too late where you don't even know how to take care of yourself. So sis, let that thing go. Because guess what? They are their own people. And that's what I had to realize, because I grew up a daddy's girl. So everything he did was perfect. My mom was wrong. She was bitter. No, she wasn't that wrong. And she wasn't bitter. My daddy was a lot. It was a lot. And he was a coach. So you're talking about, and I married a coach. I married a teacher. So I literally am living this life over. But now I recognize it and understand it from the same vantage point that my mother experienced it.
Yes.
But you don't know it back. You don't know it then because you're like, oh, she just mean. No. She just want her husband to be home on Friday night.
Yes.
But for 40 years, your husband is out there coaching people. And then they got mamas, they got daddies that ain't there, daddies that are there that's criticizing you, and you got to be a father figure to everybody else. My husband is the same way. But now, because I experienced it as a child and now experiencing it as a wife, I have a better understanding for my mother and her anger.
Exactly. I love that.
Yeah.
Someone asked, which I love this question, Chica, because that was one of my questions as well. She said, what advice would you give your newly married self? And then there was another one that came through. I'll ask that one after. But she said, what advice would you give your newly married self? Love that question.
Ooh, that is a fantastic question. Ooh, that's good.
Because I tell you, my first year, it was hard. I wanted someone to give me advice, and I just didn't feel like I had that.
I would say, I mean, I know it sounds cliche, but really, truly be patient. Be patient not only with your spouse, but with yourself, because it's a whole new debate. I got married at 27. That's young. First of all, get into your 30s before you get married.
Listen,
Linda. Listen. If I had to do it all over again, it would definitely be in my 30s before I got married. Your brain is not even fully developed until you're 28. That's science. That's science right there. That's science. That's real science. It's not fully, completely developed
Mm-hmm.
and you're 28 until you're 28.
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't, I would be patient with myself. And also, because of my career, I wouldn't like give the world myself. I would just really just like, I would have a better understanding of what's important early. And what's important is you spending time with your spouse. And if you all choose to have children, and if you come into some complications, whatever it's going to be is is what is your story, and
Mm-hmm.
be okay with your story. And everybody, you know, a lot of people, I mean, I have a line sister who is absolutely, she's one of my very best friends. And they, you know, they weren't able to conceive. They weren't able to conceive. And I just knew she would be a fantastic mother. So to watch her have to go through that journey of accepting it and being okay, like, your story is your story, is all I'm saying. Your story, your journey is your journey. And even if we have these thoughts of what it's supposed to be, um, your story is your story. And then, you know, and in the same breath, you know, when I became a mother, that it wasn't peaches and lilies and sunflowers and all that. I didn't become a great mother. I mean, and I'm still working on becoming a great mother. But when I had my first child, I was like, where is all this love they talking about?
Mm-hmm. That's real.
Where is all this? I'm instantly in love, and oh my God, what would my life be without? Like that didn't happen for me, man. It
Mm-hmm.
did not happen for me. And that's why I always speak openly about that. I don't want women to put this pressure on themselves about what they see on these commercials about, oh my God, as soon as she was born, I knew that this
Mm-hmm.
was my lifeline. That didn't happen for me, y'all. It did not happen for me. I started to become a better mother when my first child was like 3.
Mm-hmm.
That's real.
That's real.
So if it doesn't come naturally, it's okay. You got friends, you got people, talk to somebody. And it's just, everybody's journey is different.
Mm-hmm.
And don't put pressure on friends, don't put pressure on yourself about what this thing is supposed to look like. It didn't look like that for me.
Mm-hmm.
And it's still, I'm the mother, and my prayer and what I write in my journal is like, let me be the mother that I'm supposed to be for them, not what society thinks I'm supposed to be for them. Let me be what I need to be for them.
Mm-hmm.
And that's all I can be. I am not this mom that's going to be doing arts and crafts and baking cookies. That ain't my thing, man. That ain't my thing. But
Mm-hmm.
I can speak to you. I can speak life into you. I can, you know, whatever it is I need to be for them, that's who I'm going to be. And I hope that it is enough. I pray that it's enough. And so when we talk about motherhood and all these types of things, guys, just don't, ladies, please don't put so much pressure on yourself, because it may not be what you imagined it would be.
Mm-hmm. Somebody
That's
said
real.
they really needed to hear this, and I'm sure there's some women on here are pregnant or went through the same thing, and just you saying that, I'm sure validates that their feelings are valid. You know,
It's
not to,
very real.
but it just validates what they're feeling. Someone
Mm-hmm.
asked, I'd imagine from Tevi, which she's your soror.
Hey,
Um,
Sarah.
she said, I'd imagine you are both different people 18 years later. How do you
Yeah.
make sure you're both growing, but growing together? Really great.
Sometimes you won't grow together.
Mm, that's
Sometimes
real.
you won't grow together. There
That's
may be,
real.
yep, there may be years where you are not in sync. But when you know that you want to be together, you will fight through the misalignment of the growth.
Mm.
But you know at the end, like, I still want to be with him, or still want to be with her. That's my dog. That's my love. This is what I really, really want. And I'm gonna tell you, ladies, I have not, this is not, you know, you get into let me be careful here, but I've not been perfect. Now, I've not done anything that will cause that would be like adultery. But
Yeah.
you get into text messages with people, and you're not shutting it down, and you're not being what you would want them to be in a situation like that.
Mm-hmm.
And then you get caught up, you get caught, and you're like, it's not like that.
Mm-hmm.
But then you end up hurting somebody. Um, You just got to check yourself every now and then and be like, oh, now would I really, if I saw this on his phone,
Mm. That's real.
what would the response be? So the fact that we have been through that, and I didn't shut it down, I was entertaining it. He could have easily left me, because men's egos are,
Oh yeah.
we can forgive
Ugh. Over and over.
over and over. Men,
one and done.
he could have easily been like, yeah, sis, go ahead and text him for the rest of your life.
Wow.
That's real, guys. I don't know how much more real I can be at this point.
I mean, it's the realest I appreciate it. Like, that's just real. Everybody's saying like real talk, and that's
Yeah, because
like,
you get into like, well, because you go through these ups and downs, and you're not feeling like you're loved, you're not feeling like you're sexy enough for your man, but then somebody might text you like, man, you look real good in that picture. You be like, thanks.
mm-hmm.
And then you find yourself going down a hole that you're not stopping.
Mm-hmm.
So that could have easily ended the wrong way, but I'm so grateful that when we weren't growing together, he took it upon himself to say, what was I not doing for you to even entertain that?
Wow.
That's real.
Yeah.
Like,
And
even,
oh, go ahead.
even if you're not doing anything, because I wasn't, but you just start entertaining, you go down a rabbit hole. It's just, you're still human. You're still human. So I don't want anybody to be on this live and thinking I'm perfect. All these 18 years have been absolutely, they have been, because we've grown as people and we've grown as a couple. And I'm very grateful that he loved me enough through it.
I think you summed it up perfectly when you said the misalignment of the growth and fighting through that. That hits home so much, because that's how it was for me some seasons. Like, you have seasons of marriage,
yes,
where it's like, I don't, like, you feel disconnected. You don't really, sometimes you don't even know. You're like, I don't know why we're disconnected. And so you, like you said, you have to fight through that thing. And then the next season, you're like, man, we made it through that. But that's why I have this platform, because there were times in my marriage where I felt like that, but then I felt like, is my marriage going to end? Like, is this over? It's like I didn't have anybody to really talk to. Now I do, but like I didn't have anyone to like talk me through that, to say, oh girl, that's totally normal. Oh, you're fine. Versus feeling like you're on the brink of a nervous breakdown because you think your marriage is over. And it's like, it's not. You just go through seasons, and you have different seasons of growth, and you grow at different times. Like, it's so a part of the process. But like you said, fighting through that misalignment of the growth, that is so key. Like, knowing that you're committed to each other. Like, like my husband always tells me, like, listen, we in this.
In this.
I don't care. We in
right.
this.
And it goes back to what I mentioned in the first half of our
right.
It's like
part
one. Like, I really like him a lot. And I've been in the business. I've been in the music industry, and since I worked at LaFace Records and was Left Eye's assistant from the time I was 22, and I worked at LaFace Records, and I got into, so a lot of people think it's just the males that get, propositioned and all these different things. No, I dealt with a lot, like a lot of things where I could have been a ratchet chick. Like, yeah, okay, I could have been.
He feeling me.
He feeling me. What's happening? Yep. I could have definitely been that girl. So, and that can happen in corporate America. It can happen as an entrepreneur. Those things can actually happen. And don't be at a weak moment in your marriage where you're like,
listen, you preaching, Rashan.
Listen. And I don't know what has happened on his side. You know what I'm saying? It just hasn't come to my attention. But look, I know my husband is human. I was raised by a strong black man. They'd be like, listen here, fat. That's my nickname. Oh, these niggas ain't faithful. That. Like, daddy. Like, he say, he's like, listen here. So I was raised kind of like a Tom. I was raised like a guy in that sense.
How Eric wants to raise his daughter, basically.
You gotta have that, like, you gotta just know, like, you can't put nothing past nobody, guys. We all are still very human. You see some of your favorite preachers fall. You see some of your favorite politicians fall down. We all make mistakes or things that we're not proud of. But how will you recover? And I also say this too, Shonda. We've been to counseling. We've been to counseling.
Yes.
In year 9 and year 13. I agree with counseling. I agree with it. It helps you sort things out. It helps even when things are well. Like it's just like going to the gym when you at your tip top shape. You just want to keep, want to tone up a little bit. You do a little extra crunch.
Right.
Same thing. Same thing. You go and get your hair done. You go and get your car tuned up. What's up with your marriage?
Listen, I love what our girl Lakia, the wife coach, she said, marriage will mature you or expose the immaturity in you. If that ain't a word.
It's very real. So
somebody said that the higher the calling, the harder the temptation. That's true too. I think that's a lot of times, especially they always say like some of the most anointed people end up falling. It's like, cause you're so anointed. Like God wants to do some amazing things with you, but the devil knows, nah, like I can't let her be great. I can't let this marriage be wonderful and be a great picture of black love. No, I'm trying to ruin that. I don't want that to happen. And it's like, no, you got to fight against that because he will try to destroy the plans that God has for you. So I love whoever said that. That was really
there's a lot of comments on here.
Because you speaking that truth and people they relate to it and it resonates with them. I'm telling you, like we need this outlet. We need each other because sometimes you can be a wife. You just feel like you're going through it all by yourself sometimes.
Right. And then you don't want people to think that I have these beautiful posts on my Instagram for those of the people who follow me on here. I don't want it to seem like this thing is perfect. You know what I mean? Like this is not perfect. I've not been a perfect person. I'm sure he's not been a perfect person, but we make sense to each other. And I wouldn't want to do this with anybody else. Like I really, 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 I love that man. I really, really love that man.
We make sense to each other. I love that. Because that's all that matters at the end of the day. Like if y'all make sense to each other and if you're doing what works for y'all, that's all that matters. Forget what everybody else says. If that's y'all make sense to each other, that is a word. Somebody, I know over time, somebody did ask, what if he's not into counseling? What if he doesn't want to go to counseling?
Oh, that's tough. It is tough. As much as you can, try to, or maybe it's a homeboy that he looks up to that has a good, solid marriage. Maybe you say, hey, man, you reached out to them on the side like, hey, can you just like take him out? Because men don't really talk. Because I've asked Smitty, I'm like, you holler at your homeboys about what's going on with us? Or he's like, yeah, no, not really like that. They really are very private beings when it comes to their vulnerabilities, and things that they're going through and things that may have happened in the marriage. But try as hard as you can to get people that he will listen to say, hey, man, just try it. Because the counseling really does work. It really does work. And try to, I want to ask the sister, like, if you say, hey, I got this guy, black male, that is willing to talk to us. Black men and black men.
Yes.
They like that. They like that. So the two counselors we've been to have been black men.
Yes. And then they don't feel like, because I think a lot of guys, they assume that the females, she gonna take your side. They automatically think it's like their default thought about counseling, and just getting them used to that. I think that's a great idea.
Yeah. I think, that whole thing with men, especially a black male who's married and has been through something, and be with someone who has, you don't want to be, to me, this is my own thing. You don't want someone to be completely religious. And I like both. I like someone who's going to talk to you like, hey, this is what it is. And then they can still bring the spirituality or religious part into it. That is just me. I wanted somebody that had a little bit of both. Yeah.
I call it the happy balance.
It's a happy balance. Yeah.
Because I don't need you to be so, and the key word is religious. It was like, I was more concerned about what's his relationship with God. I don't need you just because my husband wasn't even really going to church when we first met. And I prayed about that though. I didn't like force him. I wasn't like, you need to be going to church. I just let my action speak for itself, and like let him find his way back to whatever he felt like. And I'll never forget when he called me. We were doing long distance. He was like, babe, I've been checking out this church. I think I found a church. And I was like, oh my gosh, you did? But that was like, oh God, I didn't have to like force him to do that. It was something that I was like, well, God, if this is the man for me, he will find his way back to you, because clearly ain't no man. If he can't have God, I don't know how this marriage is going to work. But I also didn't want somebody who was just overly religious and felt like, you know, you better submit to me, woman. And it's like, you don't even know what you're talking about. Like, you don't even know you don't know that scripture. So
right.
That happy balance is so important.
So important. Yeah.
Listen, it's 9:37.
I know. We gotta go.
Oh my gosh. Like, just some of the love. Somebody said real and some good Jesus that, yes, need a balance so you don't have to dance around all the time. Yeah, Dr. Chart is great. He is a black male.
He is.
With them. Okay, thank you for sharing that.
Oh, look, we got 100 people on here. Yes.
Come on. Listen, we're breaking records tonight.
Yes.
A part 2, awesome. Like, y'all rocks with me. I rocks with y'all. Like,
it's great.
If y'all are new to Rashan Ali, that's what I'm sorry. We was rushing off and we did the toast. Yeah. But please share your handles and like any projects, whatever you want to share. Let the people know before we toast again.
Sure. For those followers at 𝗪𝗶𝘃𝗲𝘁, you can follow me at Rashan Ali. Also, I have a podcast, and it's more of a brand now. We're revamping the 𝗪𝗲 podcast. That's how Shonda and I originally got together. She's a member of DST. I'm an AKA. And so what 𝗪𝗲 is about is just talking about the trials and tribulations and journeys of members of Black Greek letter organizations, particularly sororities. So I have great in-depth conversations with members of each of our 4 amazing organizations. And so that's at 𝗪𝗲. So please follow me there. I have a nonprofit called Sporty Girls, in which we encourage Black and brown girls to participate in swimming, soccer, tennis, golf, and lacrosse. And then I'm trying to revamp my own Rashan Ali brand, in which, I'm working with one of my line sisters to just really create a space there as well. Because, I have 𝗪𝗲, I've got Sporty Girls, but what is ideally and what is going to help me grow what Rashan Ali is. So please follow me on all of those platforms. That would be greatly appreciated. And what else do I have going on? Check me out on the new going on. Right. Check me out on the next season of Sisters on BET, 𝗪𝗶𝘃 Sisters on BET. I'm on episode 208.
Yes. When's the new season start?
We just finished shooting, so it probably won't be until 2021. So really excited about that.
Somebody said, what about that beer? She is a partner for a beer company. Come on, Black Girl Magic.
Yeah. I just did a partnership with French's Mustard Beer. So you can check that out on my feed and on my feed and check out their beer. But I'm an advocate for all things Black women, and I'm just happy to have been a part of this. And I had a great time. This is great. I had a great time.
I mean, I'm going to cry after this, just so you guys know. I'm going to shed some tears, but
it's fine.
Tears of joy and just gratitude, how you started off. Gratitude. I wake up each morning, I have my gratitude journal, and I write, and I already know what I'm going to be writing in there first thing tomorrow morning. Like, because you have truly blessed me, and I know from the women on here, they have truly been blessed. I can't speak for everyone, but I pretty much can, because I've seen the comments. But you have truly touched them. I know that they could relate to your stories, and I think what they appreciated the most, and all of the women, honestly, that have been on even prior to you, and those who've tuned in tonight, I appreciate you so much. But I think they've really appreciated your transparency and your realness, and that's all I want for this platform. I just want everyone to take off the veil and feel like you can just come here and be yourself and just be honest and feel like you're growing and be entertained as well, but still feel like you're growing. Because, like, we just want to have fun sometimes. Somebody said we need a sleepover post-Rona. And someone else also asked, can we do this every week? Actually, yes, I do this every week.
Every Wednesday, right? Every
Wednesday at 8 p.m. Now, I know y'all going to probably want Rashan back again. So
no, it's all about it.
We'll figure out something.
Right. Also, another my beer partnership with Reformation Brewery. If you are in the Atlanta area, they have 3 locations. Black is beautiful. So what they've done is they've teamed up with a Black brewery who wanted to make sure that the brewing industry was giving back to Black causes. So 1,000 breweries across the world have come together to create this amazing, beautiful stout. It's called Black is Beautiful. So if you go to any Reformation brewery in and around Atlanta, there's one in Smyrna. If you look up Reformation Brewery, anyway, their stout benefits sporty girls. So yeah, it's really, really exciting. So
writing it down. And thank you,
yes.
Stormy. She put it in the comments. Black is Beautiful beer at Reformation Brewery.
At Reformation Brewery. Yes. So please check it out. Really excited. It's a beautiful stout. It's chocolate. I mean, you can pair it with any chocolate or anything like that, and the ABV is very high. So for those of you who are into that, you can get you 1 or 2 of those and be good for the night. Okay.
Listen, I don't even really drink beer, but I'm like, I might have to try one of these out.
You gotta try. You gotta check out my best friend too. She always has like great beer pairings and events and stuff like that too. So I'll let you know.
Oh my gosh, I love it. And Eric loves beer. So
good.
If he gets beer and we support Black Girl Magic,
it makes sense. Right.
Like,
it makes sense. Shonda, thank you for having me. I appreciate your
love
and
thank
support.
you. Let's toast for this part 2 real quick before we close out. So what do you want to toast to for part 2?
I want all the women who are here on the live to just be blessed and know that whatever you need to go to the next level is already inside of you. Just tap into it. The greatness is waiting for you to for it to be awakened. So go ahead, tap into it. If God placed it on your heart, how dare you not try? So toast to that.
I don't even have to say anything. Cheers.
Cheers.
Clink, clink, clink. And all right, ladies, that's it. Thank you all. For those of you all who joined part 1 and then you hopped on for part 2. If you just joined part 2, you were like, oh, I thought this was part 1. No, you missed a whole part 1 and it was dope. So check it out. Share, tell your friends, screenshot, sharing your stories, tell your girlfriends, your sisters. I will be here next Wednesday at 8 p.m. Every Wednesday, Wise Wind Down. I love and appreciate all of you all. Rashan, I cannot thank you enough. So you all have a great rest of the week, and thank you so much. Y'all have a good one.
Thank you. Bye-bye. Thanks, Shonda. All right,